Bonjour à tous, hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm very happy that you are here. I'm sure you have heard of the city called Avignon, located in the south of France. Avignon is a walled city that has preserved its ramparts and the 14th century papal palace superbly. You might know that Avignon was once a papal capital at some point of history. It was the capital of the papacy for 68 years from 1309 to 1377. And during this period, Avignon made its name on the map and in history. Please come with me to see the 14th century Palace of the Popes and the even more famous and older 12th century Avignon Bridge in the youthful medieval town in southern France. And I will give you some practical tips to travel Provence-Camargue as well. Let's go! Allons-y! The ancient tower center of Avignon is enclosed by its medieval walls. The current walls of Avignon we see are the new walls that were built in the 14th century to replace the earlier double set of defensive walls of the 13th century. Driving intramuros of Avignon is such an expensive hassle. So I always park the car at the parking outside of the ramparts and walk inside on foot. It's quite amazing that the walls that were constructed almost 700 years ago are still standing tall and strong. I really enjoy the view of these imposing ramparts. The construction of these old new walls started in 1357 under the papacy of Pope Innocent VI, and it took almost 20 years to complete. The walls stretch for 4.3 kilometers or 2.7 miles and enclose an area of 150 hectares or 370 acres. There were originally 12 gates controlling access to the city. There are now 15 vehicular entrances and 11 pedestrian entrances. The Palais des Papes, the Pope's Palace in English, is at the highest point of the town. It is a formidable 8-towered fortress on a rock 58 meters or 190 feet above Avignon. The construction of the palace started in 1252. When Pope Clement V, the first French pope, was elected in June 1305, he moved the papacy from Rome to Avignon in 1309 and brought in the period known as the Avignon papacy. During the Avignon papacy from 1309 to 1377, the 7 French-born popes were elected. The Palais is actually 2 joint buildings: the old palace of Benedict XII and the new palace of Clement VI. Together, they form the largest Gothic building of the Middle Ages. The massive Palace of the Popes was the most fortified palace of the time with 3-meter or 10-foot thick walls, and it was a symbol of power. The popes departed Avignon in 1377, returning to Rome. But the Palais remained under papal control for another 400 years afterwards, until the French Revolution. The palace itself is pretty bare today. I see many big but empty rooms. But there are quite a few original wall paintings, as well as Gothic chapels and some beautiful floors. It is for sure one of the most monumental and commanding buildings I've ever seen. With 15,000 square meters or 160,000 square feet of floor space, the Palais is the largest Gothic palace in all of Europe. You know, even though the rooms are mostly barren, I'm awed by the magnificence of the building. I admire the grandiose Gothic architecture. Since 1995, the Palais des Papes has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its outstanding architecture and historical importance of the papacy. Actually, I find the most pretty, lively, and entertaining part of the palace is the bookstore shop. There are souvenirs from the Palais des Papes and the Pont d'Avignon, historical books, handcrafted ceramics, and even wines of Châteauneuf and Châteauneuf-du-Pape. If you are curious about Châteauneuf-du-Pape wine, please watch the Visiting Châteauneuf-du-Pape Wineries and All About Châteauneuf-du-Pape Wine video. The church beside the Palais des Papes is the Cathedral Notre-Dame des Dons d'Avignon, also known as the Avignon Cathedral. The cathedral dates from 1150 and includes Gothic chapels added between the 14th and 17th centuries. Its position on the rock, the imposing spire topped with a statue of the Virgin Mary, and its proximity to the Palais des Papes allow it both dominate the city and be seen from very far away. In 1995, the cathedral, along with the Palais des Papes and other historical buildings in Avignon, became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Musée du Petit Palais, or the Petit Palais Museum at the north side of the square of the Pope's Palace, is a museum and art gallery of early Renaissance paintings. The museum is housed in a 14th century building that was the residence of the bishops of Avignon. It displays the church's collection of medieval Italian paintings and sculptures. It's very interesting and fulfills the missing decoration and ornaments of the Pope's Palace. Oh, I also go to see the Jardin du Palais des Papes, Gardens of the Pope's Palace in English. It's kind of small but charming with a lovely vegetable garden. It is a place for a pleasant stop. These are the historic monuments all located in the same square. However, the one place I cannot miss in Avignon is by Rhone River, about 450 meters or a quarter mile from the Palais des Papes Square. I think it is one of the most famous structures in Avignon, if not the most. It is the Pont Saint-Benezet, better known as the Pont d'Avignon or the Bridge of Avignon. The stone bridge is about 900 meters or 980 yards in length and only 4.9 meters or 16 feet 1 inch in width. The bridge was abandoned in the mid-17th century as the arches tended to collapse each time the Rhone flooded, and it was too expensive to repair. 4 arches and the gatehouse at the Avignon end of the bridge have survived. The bridge was the inspiration for the song Sur le Pont d'Avignon and is considered a landmark of the city. I walk onto the remains of the bridge. It's really nice to be in the breezy middle of the river with an amazing view. There is also a very small section of the ramparts I can go up and walk onto from the bridge. If you want to walk on uninterrupted medieval ramparts, you must visit Aigues-Mortes, that is located 84 kilometers or 50 miles from Avignon, where you can walk on the entire ramparts of 1,640 meters, or 1 mile encircling the town of Aigues-Mortes. If you want to see these medieval ramparts and the city, please check out the St. Louis in France, 4 Beautiful Places of St. Louis in France video. I bought a package ticket that gives access to the Pope's Palace, Pope's Garden, and the Bridge of Avignon for 17 euros. The ancient city center of Avignon, Intramuros, is a very lively and youthful place with cafes, boulangeries, restaurants, and shops. The modern market hall Leal is also a great place to stop by. You can buy organic bread, cheese, freshly made quiche, and many more. Here, let me give you a couple of ideas for your trip to Provence. Avignon is a great anchor place to stay and visit the region, as it is fairly close to all the cities worth visiting, such as Arles, Nîmes, Orange, as well as the prettiest towns of Provence, like L'Île-sur-la-Sorgue, Les Baux-de-Provence, Gordes, and Saint-Rémy-de-Provence. If you want to see the prettiest towns in Provence, please watch the 4 Prettiest Towns in Provence video. Also, you'd see the Roman remains in Provence in the Stunning Roman Remains in Provence video. If you stay in Intramuros, you can have a nice walk in this medieval town in the evening. In the evening, I love to have a glass of wine at an outdoor cafe, marveling at the spectacular view of the Palais des Papes. Oh, and don't worry about the parking fee. You can park the car outside of the walls. It's free from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. except for the months of July and August. Also, 4 hours of free parking is included between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. from September to June. I hope this information is helpful when you plan your trip to Provence. Okay, that's all for today. If you have enjoyed it, please do give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you again next week. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my weekly videos. Thanks so much for watching.